recently got a good question about credit scores and buying a house. The question was, which credit score matters when buying a house? When you are buying a house, your lender will almost certainly review the credit scores from all three of the major credit bureaus. When they look at Experian, they are likely to look at your FICO 2 credit score. At TransUnion, they will probably look at your FICO 4 score. And at Equifax, they will probably look at your FICO 5 credit score. It may seem odd that they would look at different FICO scores depending on the credit bureau, but FICO 2, 4, and 5 are very nearly the same credit score model. When they were developed, the credit files at the different bureaus were not standardized, so they couldn't implement the same score on all three bureaus. That's all well and good, but the real question is, what credit score do you need in order to buy a house? Typically, the absolute minimum credit score needed to get a mortgage is 580. That means you need at least a 580 on each of your credit scores. This does not guarantee approval, of course, but it is a minimum requirement. When a lender pulls your credit, they will likely make an assessment on whether to approve you and on what interest rate to give you based on the lowest score from the three credit bureaus. If your lowest score is above a 760, you are likely to qualify for the lowest mortgage rate from that lender. If your lowest credit score is between 720 and 759, you will get a low rate, barely higher than the lowest, if not the lowest. If your credit score is between a 680 and a 719, you are likely to get approved, but your rate will be 1 or 2 percentage points higher than the lowest offered rate. And if your credit score is between a 580 and a 679, you will have an interest rate significantly higher than the lowest rate, if the lender approves you. But why are the credit scores different at all? If one credit bureau has slightly different data, the scores will likely be different. While most of the time the bureaus have similar data, it is not uncommon for one bureau to have unique data. However, most of the time the scores are within a 20-point range. The biggest differences will occur if a bureau is showing an account in default or in collection that the other bureaus don't have a record of. Before I apply for a mortgage, can I see the credit scores that the lenders will look at? If you are planning to buy a house and preparing to apply for a mortgage, you will want to look at all of the relevant scores. The best place to get them is from myfico.com. Here you can get your credit report from all three major credit bureaus and all of your FICO scores, not just the ones used for mortgages. It will also provide you with the tools like credit score simulators that will give you an idea of what you could do to change your score. myfico.com does cost money, and it's about $39.99 a month. They are not sponsoring this video. How different are the scores from the free scores I can get online? You've probably seen the websites that will offer you a free credit score. These sites will show you a VantageScore number, not a FICO credit score. Most of the time, the differences between FICO and VantageScore is minor, 10, maybe 20 points. If you have a long history of good credit and few negative items, all of your credit scores will usually be quite similar. However, some advances in modeling and computer power have allowed new scores to handle much more complex variations of credit usage. FICO 10 and VantageScore 4.0 are examples of models built on the latest technology. These more powerful models can sometimes give meaningfully different results from the older FICO scores. If the newer credit models are more powerful, why don't mortgage lenders use them? Mortgage companies' processes are closely reviewed by the government, and they are held to a very high standard when it comes to preventing discriminatory practices. This means that all of their processes are measured in numerous ways to ensure that they are not discriminating in their lending. They can be punished even if the discrimination is not intentional. The older FICO scores have been accepted by regulatory authorities as non-discriminatory, so using these scores is presumed to be best practices in preventing discriminatory outcomes. If and when the newer scores are accepted as non-discriminatory, mortgage lenders will likely update their processes. If you have any other questions about personal finances, leave a comment below and maybe we'll address it in a future video. Please consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel. And as always, thanks for watching.